This chilling true story happened to my sister 5 years ago. Back then, we were both quite paranoid and gullible little kids and had no idea about the world's real dangers. But thanks to the safety of our town, we never really had to experience anything genuinely scary. It didn't really have a huge population back then. Everyone knew each other in the neighborhoods, and the atmosphere was peaceful and worry-free. There were no robberies, no illegal activities, no problems whatsoever as far as I was concerned. That's why this event shook me completely. My sister and one of her former best friends, who I'll be calling Becky, were going for a walk with my dog on their usual route. It was getting really late. The street lamps were pretty much the only thing illuminating the dark street, and our dog was feeling very thirsty, so they decided to take a shortcut back to our house. This particular shortcut went through dense trees and bushes, and of course, it had to pass by the cemetery. We were always cautious about taking this path, because it was very slippery after rain. But, as this happened during summer, there was no cause for concern. Our dog never likes to stay behind others, so this time she charged forward, and my sister and her friend had to pick up the pace to keep up. As they were getting closer to the end of the shortcut, the cemetery became more visible and more visible. Becky looked around and noticed something very strange which made her stop in her tracks. A woman in a white dress was sitting on her knees in front of a grave. Becky tapped my sister on her shoulder and pointed her finger towards the woman. Now they both stopped to look, but weirdly enough, my dog just wanted to continue walking. It was very unusual to see people there since the cemetery closes before dark, and the visibility in there was extremely low without another light source, and she didn't have one. As cautious and silly kids, they continued to stare, but eventually, as nothing happened, they continued walking, finally reaching the end of the path. Becky looked at the lady just one more time, and to her horror, she was standing and seemed to be staring off into the distance. She once again warned my sister about what she was seeing, and they both stopped to watch the woman again. My dog seemed to be unbothered, so she just sat down and waited for them to start walking again. Minutes passed and nothing happened, but they were scared to move. My sister eventually had enough, looked away, and whistled to our dog to stand up and begin walking. Just then, the woman turned around, broke out of the cemetery, and started running towards them at an insane speed. This is where I come into the story. Both of our parents were asleep by then. I had stayed up to play video games and to make sure everyone would arrive okay. While running, my sister calls me.
Open the front door now and wake up Mom and Dad.
What? What happened?
There's a woman chasing us. What? I think we lost her, but...
I immediately rushed to our parents' room and woke them up, told them everything, and opened the front gate. I put on my slippers and ran outside to see where they could be. I thankfully saw them in the distance. They were okay. We all went inside and talked things through. My dad took Becky back to her house while my sister told me and my mom everything. There was a lot of scolding after that, but it was totally fair. She said that after the lady began the pursuit, they all ran as fast as they could, trying not to stumble on anything. Becky was able to look back at the woman and see her move clearly when she was under the street lamps. She said she ran so unnaturally and never stumbled once, even though she was supposedly in heels. And the white dress didn't have any stains. It was completely clean. Nothing made sense about her. But the freakiest thing of all was that our dog, who acts extremely aggressively against any kind of threats due to accidents with other dogs in the past, never barked, growled, or seemingly saw her at all. To this day, I have no idea if this was something related to the supernatural. Nothing else happened after this occurrence, but my sister sometimes still has nightmares about her encounter with this woman. Sometimes the woman even catches up to her, but she always wakes up before what happens next.